Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by Rome, the historical role-playing game. Experience the glory and decadence of Rome like never before. You will find it in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly partnered with the What the Funk shop. Please check out their store for all sorts of products. They have dice, miniatures, game master screens, foam decorations, and many other things. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comment as well. And make sure that you use my code for a special discount. A moment, please, while I maximize. There we go. Maximize. All right. Tonight, I want to talk about why I love randomness or random mechanics, randomness based mechanics in tabletop role playing games. That random generation of a value in combat or skill checks and whatnot. Of course, many tabletop RPGs, not as much as the popular dice based or card based tabletop RPGs, but there are also other tabletop RPGs that are completely diceless. You handle things based on context, perhaps using some sort of token or currency. You could say that they are toolless because instead of using cards, dice, or even plastic counters, even if you have a currency, you could easily handle everything through pen and paper. You don't need another auxiliary method or tool to determine the success or to assist you in carrying out various checks. But they are certainly, like I said, not the most popular tabletop RPGs. So a lot of people that play tabletop role-playing games have never attempted to play a diceless system. But that's not the topic of this video. The topic is that I actually not only do I like the diceless, toolless systems, I also really love randomly determining the outcome of something, and you can also modify and tweak that value, that randomly generated value in real life and in fiction. There are oftentimes moments related to various tasks, related to your profession, to your trade, even in combat situations, where you obtain some very unexpected results. You may even suffer a sort of, or go through a suffer of growth spurt in a particular moment, in a very specific instance. And I think using dice, cards, whatever, whatever tool that randomly generates a value for a task, for an attack, for a skill check, etc., they represent those moments of uncertainty. And I think that as people, we oftentimes enjoy surprises. That's why many board games and even video games also rely on that random generation method of determining an outcome. You still want a certain degree of control, of course. You want your bonuses in combat, the use of spells, abilities, powers, items, weapons that could give you an edge, but you still want to see if you manage to succeed against failure when the outcome is uncertain. I have already talked in another video that you shouldn't roll in tabletop RPGs unless the situation is uncertain. It's not about, oh, let's see if the result is interesting. It's more likely that if the success of a situation is uncertain, then you make that roll. And that's where the fun really kicks in because you're hoping to get that really high roll on your D100 or D20, depending on the system and the sort of rollover mechanic or roll under mechanic as well. In the case of cards, you also draw a card trying to get a particular value that is above or below a certain number to hopefully succeed. It's a somewhat delicate balance. There are a lot of balancing acts in tabletop RPGs where you want the will of the player to have an effect upon the world, but you also want to represent that chance of failure. This is not always going to be the case. There are moments where the outcome is certain or uncertain, so an automatic success or even an automatic failure are in order to be applied. But when you get to roll your dice, draw your cards, whatever, turn the page of a book, perhaps, there are many mechanics out there. It's so fun. It's so fun to see if you manage to get the numerical value that you were hoping for. So, whether you like toolless, diceless systems, or even role playing games that employ dice, cards, whatever, so, some tabletop RPGs, you also have like a system of drawing lots. You have like a cup or a bag, and you draw something, symbol, whatever, to see if you obtain a particular value. You activate a power, many things. That excitement, that anticipation of trying to get what you want, it is so addictive. I've been playing tabletop RPGs for a long time. I'm currently 42 years old. I've been playing since about 14 years of age, or and that's tabletop RPGs, right? Because before that, I played board games as well, and I never get bored of rolling those dice, never. But like I said, I also really enjoy diceless systems. Make no mistake. And let me know if you are also a fan of rolling dice or if you prefer greater control. In tabletop RPGs, you can employ some meta currencies or actions or items or powers to add some modifiers to your dice rolls, make those rerolls. You have exploding dice mechanics, but it all comes down to surprising yourself, but at the same time attempting to interact with the game world in such a way that you put the odds in your favor. And like Machiavello, or perhaps you say it Machiavelli in English, right? Well, in Italian and Spanish, Machiavello, he said that in everything in life is 50% luck, 50% skill. So you put your skill to the test, but you also have to accept that there is the random possibility of a great failure or a great success. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative and entertaining. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the Super Thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description, the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, in tabletop role playing games, it's not about what you want your characters to do, it's about what your characters are doing. Once again, thank you and see you later.